This podcast is published by Brightline Living and brings you faith writings. Galatians chapter 1 verses 15 to 24. And when God was well pleased, having separated me from the womb of my mother, and having called me, through his grace, to reveal his Son in me, that I might proclaim him good news among the nations, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood, nor did I go up to Jerusalem unto those who were apostles before me, but I went away to Arabia, and again returned to Damascus. Then, after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to inquire about Peter, and remained with him 15 days. And other of the apostles I did not see, except James, the brother of the Lord. And the things that I write to you, lo, before God I lie not. Then I came to the regions of Syria and of Cilicia, and was unknown by face to the assemblies of Judea, that are in Christ, and only they were hearing that he who is persecuting us then doth now proclaim good news, the faith that then he was wasting, and they were glorifying God in me. Galatians chapter 2 verses 14 to 19. But when I saw that they are not walking uprightly to the truth of the good news, I said to Peter before all, If thou, being a Jew, in the manner of the nations dost live, and not in the manner of the Jews, how the nations dost thou compel to Judaize? We by nature are Jews, and not sinners of the nations, having known also that a man is not declared righteous by works of law, if not through the faith of Jesus Christ. Also we in Christ Jesus did believe, that we might be declared righteous by the faith of Christ, and not by works of law, where if we're declared righteous by works of law shall be no flesh. And if, seeking to be declared righteous in Christ, we ourselves also were found sinners, is then Christ a ministrant of sin? Let it not be. For if the things I threw down, these again I build up, a transgressor I set myself forth, for I through law did die, that to God I may live. Galatians chapter 2 verse 20. With Christ I have been crucified, and live no more do I, and Christ doth live in me, and that which I now live in the flesh, in the faith I live of the Son of God, who did love me, and did give himself for me. Galatians chapter 3 verses 1 to 9. O thoughtless to Galatians, who did bewitch you, not to obey the truth, before whose eyes Jesus Christ was described before among you crucified? This only do I wish to learn from you, by works of law the Spirit did ye receive, or by the hearing of faith. So thoughtless are ye, having begun in the Spirit, now in the flesh do ye end. So many things did ye suffer in vain, if, indeed, even in vain. He, therefore, who is supplying to you the Spirit, and working mighty acts among you, by works of law, or by the hearing of faith, is it? According as Abraham did believe God, and it was reckoned to him to righteousness. Know ye, then, that those of faith, these are sons of Abraham, and the writing having foreseen that by faith God doth declare righteous the nations, did proclaim before the good news to Abraham, Blessed in thee shall be all the nations, so that those of faith are blessed with the faithful Abraham. Galatians chapter 3 verses 10 to 16. For as many as are of works of law are under a curse, for it hath been written, Cursed is everyone who is not remaining in all things that have been written in the book of the law to do them, and that in law no one is declared righteous with God, is evident, because the righteous by faith shall live. And the law is not by faith, but the man who did them shall live in them. Christ did redeem us from the curse of the law, having become for us a curse. For it hath been written, Cursed is every one who is hanging on a tree, that to the nations the blessing of Abraham may come in Christ Jesus, that the promise of the Spirit we may receive through the faith. Brethren, as a man I say it, even of man a confirmed covenant no one doth make void or doth add to, and to Abraham were the promises spoken, and to his seed. He doth not say, unto seeds, as of many, but as of one, unto thy seed, which is Christ. Galatians chapter 3 verses 17 to 22. And this I say, a covenant confirmed before by God to Christ, the law, that came 430 years after, doth not set aside, to make void the promise. For if by law be the inheritance, it is no more by promise, but to Abraham through promise did God grant it. Why, then, the law? On account of the transgressions it was added, till the seed might come to which the promise hath been made, having been set in order through messengers in the hand of a mediator, and the mediator is not of one, and God is one. The law, then, is against the promises of God, Let it not be. For if the law was given that was able to make alive, truly by law there would have been the righteousness. But the writing did shut up the hole under sin, that the promise by faith of Jesus Christ may be given to those believing. Galatians chapter 3 verses 23 to 29. And before the coming of the faith, under law, we were being kept, shut up to the faith about to be revealed, so that the law became our child conductor to Christ, that by faith we may be declared righteous, and the faith having come, no more under a child conductor are we? For ye are all sons of God through the faith in Christ Jesus. For as many as to Christ were baptized did put on Christ. There is not here Jew or Greek, there is not here servant nor freeman, there is not here male and female, for all ye are one in Christ Jesus. And if ye are of Christ, then of Abraham ye are seed, and according to promise heirs. Galatians chapter 5 verses 5 to 13. For we by the Spirit, by faith, a hope of righteousness do wait for in Christ Jesus neither circumcision availeth anything, nor uncircumcision, but faith through love working. You are running well. Who did hinder you not to obey the truth? The obedience is not of him who is calling you. A little leaven the whole lump doth leaven. I have confidence in regard to you in the Lord, that ye will be none otherwise minded, and he who is troubling you shall bear the judgment, whoever he may be. And I, brethren, if uncircumcision I yet preach, why yet am I persecuted? Then hath the stumbling block of the cross been done away. Oh, that even they would cut themselves off who are unsettling you. For ye to freedom ye were called, brethren, only not the freedom for an occasion to the flesh, but through the love serve ye one another. Galatians chapter 5 verses 18 to 26. And if by the Spirit ye are led, ye are not under law. And manifest also are the works of the flesh, which are adultery, whoredom, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, strifes, emulations, wraths, rivalries, dissensions, sects, envyings, murders, drunkennesses, revellings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as I also said before, that those doing such things the reign of God shall not inherit. And the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And those who are Christ's, the flesh did crucify with the affections and the desires. If we may live in the Spirit also we may walk. Let us not become vainglorious, one another provoking, one another envying. Galatians chapter 6 verses 3 to 10. For if any one doth think himself to be something, being nothing, himself he doth deceive, and his own work let each one prove, and then in regard to himself alone the glorying he shall have, and not in regard to the other, for each one his own burden shall bear. And let him who is instructed in the word share with him who is instructing in all good things. Be not led astray, God is not mocked. For what a man may sow, that also he shall reap, because he who is sowing to his own flesh, of the flesh shall reap corruption, and he who is sowing to the Spirit, of the Spirit shall reap life enduring. And in the doing good we may not be faint-hearted, for at the proper time we shall reap, not desponding. Therefore, then, as we have opportunity, may we work the good to all, and especially unto those of the household of the faith.